What's a memory from your childhood you thought was innocent but later came back to haunt you? When I was little, I used to get really bad fevers. My mom said I was a fragile kid, always sick, always coughing or shivering. She did her best to take care of me though. It was just the two of us, living in this tiny apartment above a laundromat. The air always smelled like detergent and heat, and our walls were thin enough that I could hear people arguing or watching TV next door. Every night, Mom would make me tea with too much honey and tell me to drink it slowly. When I had those coughing fits that wouldn't stop, she'd sit on the edge of my bed, rubbing my back until I fell asleep. I always thought she was a hero. She worked long shifts at a nursing home, came home late, and still found time to take care of me. But sometimes, when I couldn't stop coughing, she'd get this faraway look in her eyes. She wouldn't yell. She wasn't that kind of mom, but she'd start pacing, pressing her hands against her forehead. Then she'd crawl into bed with me and whisper, "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here." She'd wrap her arms around me tight, tighter than any hug I'd ever had. At first, it felt comforting. I'd stop coughing a little just because I couldn't move or breathe properly. Sometimes she'd hum a lullaby, off-key, slow, and I'd relax enough to drift off. Other times, though, she'd keep holding me even after I started to panic. I'd try to wiggle free, but she'd just say, "Shh, stop fighting, it's okay." Her voice would shake when she said it, and after a while, I'd stop fighting because I couldn't anymore. The room would get dark and quiet, and the next thing I knew, it was morning. She'd be gone, already at work, leaving a note on the counter that said, "Drink your tea, love you." When I was a kid, I thought that was just how moms helped. I thought her hugs were medicine, and that love could squeeze the sickness out of you. When I was 12, she had what they called a mental breakdown. The neighbors found her sitting on the stairs outside our building, still in her scrubs, crying into her hands. I remember the police coming. I remember the ambulance lights painting the walls red and blue. She didn't come home for a while after that. I went to live with my aunt for a bit. As I got older, those nap hugs turned into memories I tried not to think about. I told myself they were harmless. My mom just didn't know her own strength. She was tired, stressed, and trying her best. That's what I told myself every time I thought about how it felt. How my chest would tighten and my head would buzz. How I'd wake up dizzy and confused. How sometimes she'd cry afterward and say, "You scared me so bad, baby. You stopped breathing for a second." I didn't understand what that meant back then. Years later, when I was 24, I had my own daughter. She was a little thing, tiny lungs just like me. One night, when she had a bad cold, she started coughing so hard she couldn't stop. I held her in my arms, rocking her back and forth, whispering, "It's okay, it's okay." But when she didn't stop, something old and strange stirred in me. A memory, a reflex, something I didn't even mean to do. Without thinking, I started to hug her tighter. My arms locked around her, and for a split second, it felt familiar. It felt like love. It felt like safety. Then she started to gasp. The sound snapped me out of it. I let go immediately, panicked, crying as I checked if she was okay. She coughed once more and looked up at me, eyes watery but calm, whispering, "Mommy," and I broke down right there. Because in that one moment, I remembered everything. I remembered my mother's face, how her eyes weren't angry, just desperate, how she whispered, "It's okay," over and over again, like she was trying to convince herself. I realized she wasn't hugging me out of love. She was trying to stop me, stop the noise, stop the crying, stop the thing that made her feel like she was failing as a mother. It's been years since that night, but I still wake up sometimes feeling phantom arms around me. Sometimes I catch myself holding my daughter too long when she's upset, and I feel that cold rush of fear crawl up my spine. I used to think my mom's hugs were a sign of love. Now I know they were something else entirely, something darker, something she couldn't control. And that's what haunts me the most, because I finally understand how easy it is to mistake love for something that takes your breath away.